What's going on? What's going on, YouTube? Family, friends, how's everybody doing? All right, here we go. We're back on this series again of talking about some tips, techniques, past experiences, things I just want to rant and rave about a little bit. But a couple things I wanted to talk about a little bit about co-angler etiquette. So I had a recent event on Lake Oneida at the Bassmaster Opens, and I had an instance where it's the first time ever I had a female co-angler, and when I drew her name, I was just like when light bulb went off real quick, and I asked myself, okay, I need to make sure that I ask her a couple certain questions that, from being a dad of 4 girls, most important thing was use the potty. But again, I've never dealt with a situation before, so I had to break it casually in a conversation. I just didn't come out and say it. I should have, but I didn't, because it's a very awkward conversation with especially somebody you'd never met before. So here's how I handled that issue. When we got in the boat in the morning, usually you're sitting around floating for 30, 45 minutes before blast off goes, and you get to talk a little bit about, your past tournaments, your, just kind of in casual of the do's, the don'ts, the whole shebang. And there towards the end, after we kind of like warmed up a little bit with each other, I kind of asked her, I was like, how would you, if you have to use the restroom or something, I have found a couple areas on the lake where they have restrooms, but I'm not sure if they're open or not, especially first thing in the morning. So, and she's like, oh, that was a great, thanks for asking, because it was very nervous about asking about, go to the bathroom or whatever. I was like, so my fishing spots were actually in the middle of the lake. I'm literally 2 miles offshore, or plus or minus. I'm way out there, and it takes a while to get set up on these spots that I'm fishing. Plus the weather was bad and everything else. So I had to keep that in my mind. Literally all day long, I was like, okay, does she have to go to the bathroom? Should I ask her? And which I did. I was like, are you okay? You need to use the restroom or anything? And so, being a good boater, you have to be cognizant of this, not only yourself, but also the well-being of your co-angler, regardless if it's a female, the youth, a male, what have you. You need to ask questions and make sure they feel comfortable fishing with you. And, it just makes the day go by better. There's no animosity in the boat. I think by being talkative and not extremely talkative, so it's taken away from your fishing, but it needs to be very upfront and kind of just in casual conversations. Don't just come out black and white questions and go back to being silent for a while. Black and white questions, no. I think by actually being casual in a casual conversation, it really makes the day go by better, and it makes the people actually open up a little bit, you know what I'm saying? So you can actually read that person, instead of that person back there feeling uncomfortable all day while they're trying to fish, and things like that. So I know some of you guys have actually done that. You guys have had to use the bathroom, and you're just not able to do it, and you're just trying to do the pee-pee dance while you're trying to fish. It's just very uncomfortable. So again, guys, it's just very important to be mindful of your co-angler, regardless if it's a male or a female. Okay, and again, this is going to be something that we're going to have to deal with going forward. It's just the new times. There's a lot of female anglers out there, and they're hammers, they're sticks, and they will beat the brakes off you in the back of the boat or in the front of the boat, what have you. Okay, so guys, pay attention to that. It's very, very important. All right, second thing is some co-angler etiquette. This past tournament, I didn't have any issues, but there's been recent tournaments of the younger guys where they really hadn't experienced any of the national platform tournaments. And there was some couple things that really tickled my feather, and especially here on the James River, I had a co-angler, and before I even get the trolling motor, my rod straps off and the trolling motor, and now I have a bait going over my head. I mean, literally over my head, landing at the tree in front of me. I'm like, okay, I'll let that go. And again, it's my fault because I didn't lay down the ground rules thinking that the guy's a veteran. He's been doing it for 20, 30 years. And he was older than I was. And it happened again. And I specifically turned around and it says, man, I says, you see the boat right here? The windshields? From there, back is yours, okay? And now if I pass a tree up and I let you have it, or if I'm done fishing it, go for it. Or what have you. All right, so there's some things at the beginning of the tournament where you have that time where you should emphasize maybe some boundaries. If you're not sure how this person fishes, especially the younger guys or even some of the senior veterans, or they maybe sometimes need a refresher course. Maybe everybody's different. So again, having a casual conversation about the boundaries is kind of very important. Another thing too, this hasn't happened in a while, but it has happened in the past, is I've gone a couple tournaments, co-anglers, they shake your hand and go on their day. I don't know if they forget about gas money, but gas money is important, dude. It costs a lot. It costs boaters a lot of money to operate the boat and the trucks getting to and from, etc., etc. So I think a reasonable dollar for a co-angler to go fishing for the day, they usually offer $40. I mean, $40, two $20 bills, hand it to them. At least offer it to him. So if you guys have a bad tournament, or he gets a check or whatever, at least offer him something. And if he doesn't take it, that's on the boater. At least you offered, you cleared your conscience, and you go on about your day. It just it is what it is. But again, another thing that I do for my co-anglers, I'm not saying this is the right thing to do, but what I do is I provide water and ice in my boat. Sometimes I'll ask my co-angler to grab a bag of ice, bring it to the ramp if I haven't already got it. But I normally get it on the way to the ramp, so I don't have to deal with that. So, but anyhow, I always supply drinks. Sometimes I provide snacks. It's just how I am, because I do snack on the water. And some guys are, they're traveling, they're away from home, and maybe they didn't have a chance to stop at a gas station, because usually you get into these tournaments really early. There's nothing really open. There's a couple gas stations, but anyhow, that's why I offer, some water and maybe a snack or two. I always have it in the boat. Another thing too that is very important for you guys to talk about, and this is the top of the list, and maybe this should have been one of my earlier subjects, but is the fact of asking them about, you can't really pry into their personal well-being, but you can ask them, do you have any medical conditions or anything that I need to be aware of? So if something happens, is there something I need to do? Like, do you have an EpiPen? Are you allergic to bee stings, or are you a diabetic? You don't have to go into details, but you just need to ask him if he's got any medical conditions that you need to be concerned of, so you don't put him in an element or a position where it causes him any further harm, etc., if that makes any sense. So that is very important. So again, guys, I think it's very important to communicate with your co-angler, especially if you've never met him. Usually the night before, you can have a lot of these conversations, or you can even have it on the water while you guys are sitting there chillaxing in the boat, waiting for your blast off number to be called. So again, guys, co-anglers, they're there, they're part of the nature, and you need to respect them just like hopefully they respect you. Okay, so I appreciate y'all tuning in. If you haven't liked and subscribed to my channel yet, it would be much appreciated. And we'll continue this journey tomorrow night. I'm not really sure what I'm going to talk about yet. I'll think about it tomorrow and come up with something. All right, guys, thank you very much. Peace out.